today, folks, and as soon as it shows up, I'll start walking around. We're in Avorion again today, and yeah, a bit of a smoker cough, but anyway, so if you hear me cough, it's not nothing to do with a cold or flu. I'm completely over whatever. Anyway, so yeah, I've been a little bit busy the last few days setting up a local web server and everything else, and doing some other funky stuff with website design and other stuff and graphics. And one of the Blender top Blender guys gave me free access to a complete course, so I have access to literally some knowledge about everything now. Next couple of days, Unreal will give out some more stuff. Um, yeah, it'll depend on how many people show up here, how long I go. There's some things I might want to do, like I might want to watch the Premier of Ontario give a little bit of an update here, considering that in the province I'm in, we're going to be making some these what are called N96 masks in a couple of weeks, and we'll be doing it by the millions. And when a nation gives a material that helps to make the N95 mask, you would think you would say, okay, here's a couple of these masks. Nope, nope. So I'm hoping that material is used in the N96 and we divert it to that. So when the Americans come up here and say, can we have some of these N96 masks? We'll go, well, you'll have to wait in line behind the rest of the world, which is stiff. Nothing like paying for something and then somebody steals it on you. I mean, they did it to Germany too. I mean, we're not the only ones here. So, hey. A little bit of the position Canada's in here, okay? It's not like we don't have some kind of, for a little nation, okay, we're supplying all the northern U.S. with electricity at a loss, okay? We supply 3 million tons of aluminum to the United States for its war machine activities, okay? Think about that loss, and you can't replace it. There's no one else in the world that has the capacity to give them even a tenth of that, okay? Um, it's just silliness, and we need to have a leader up here who will stand up like that. I mean, in the past, you wouldn't stand up to him because the economy was important. Well, there is no economy at the moment, so why not reboot it with a proper stance? Okay, right? Right? You want power? Pay for it properly. Okay? We're no longer going to be selling you that power at a loss. That's what I'd be doing. Like, I don't even know why we're doing that. That's not even capitalism. It's outright theft. It's theft of my money. So, hey, if they're going to pirate, us, why don't we just pirate American stuff? Okay? What are you going to do? Throw me in jail? You don't have enough jails for all of us. And I don't think you want to be putting everybody in prison. You'll just be letting us all out anyway, according to what's going to be happening here eventually. Anyway. So I was having all these little Twitter fights with people and these Americans, and none of them even know. They're all Canadians. Okay? I hate to say it, but you know what? I don't know who's worse, Democrats or Republicans. Okay? I really don't. And you got three types of Americans. The ones that stick their head in the sand and pretend nothing's going on. And then you got the retardicons and Democrats. Seriously. Like seriously. And those political parties things, they're just two different groups of rich people that really hate each other and go out of their way to mess each other around at the point of screwing with everybody on the planet. When is this fucking world going to stand up to them and say enough? When? When's it going to happen? How many more hundreds of thousands of people have to die? As of this moment, I hold every single American responsible, okay, for this, okay? I was even contemplating coming out of retirement. Well, what we retired from. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Bit of a grind. Multiplayer server game. That's some other server of the game I don't have, so they're all playing that. And I'm being like, I have like I went to the first store when I normally do, and I was actually out of toilet paper and toilet paper. So I go in, and there wasn't anything. Our prime minister was like, "Oh, we have lots. You don't have to hoard by, blah 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 blah." And I was like, you know. And this just shows you, like, I'm not one of these kinds of people that will take one side and brainwash and constantly, you know, if somebody's done something wrong, I say it. Okay, I say it. That's the difference between me and the rest of them, okay? I don't give a shit what political party you're in. If you did something stupid, I'm gonna say something about it. Like, holy balls, man. Anyway, so the next day I go in there, I pick up early. So I go down to the aisle and there's one pack. Yeah. And then, you know, I come back, you know, a couple days later, there's still none there. Every time some come in, people go in and buy them. They distract them and they start lining up. But anyway, I ended up laughing. Well, you know, that's what I mean, like, whatever. I know where I can go get 50-pound bags of potatoes for, you know, $5. I know where all the slaughterhouses are, where the meats are, and I know some of the farmers. So if I really had to, I could get everybody together, and I got to make sure still get the meat, right? I don't need to use my stove and electricity so when it suddenly went out. You know, like, there's this whole survival type of mechanic, right? And I noticed something interesting now. My page with statistics now is showing the number of tests each nation does, and then they also add another stat, tests per million people. So you can do, it's kind of like a per capita. And I noticed that our nation's actually helping the U.S. in that regard, but not in total numbers. This is interesting. Huge spike in France right now, so, you know, thoughts and prayers to the people in France, you know. Not that you talk about this. This is why the YouTube is doing is retarded, okay? Because I was saying, you know, getting it out of my system kind of shit. If I don't want to go crazy, you know? Like, if you're going to hold... My dad had 4 heart attacks, okay? And he's the kind of guy, he's got every little stupid thing to get on his nerves. And then you blow up. And it was so... And that's exactly what the doctor told me. That attitude is what gave you these heart attacks. And boy, did he change after that. Every time something was wrong, he'd fucking let you know, alright. I was like, ooh, the new dad. Well, glad he's not around to have to put up with this. Went the way he wanted to and enjoy his life. You know? Have to see all this bullshit. He used to work at General Motors, and General Motors no longer even anything anymore, even though Trump promised, oh yeah, no car companies are going to leave Canada or anything out of this. Another bunch of bullshit. I mean, you can't believe nothing Americans say, I'm sorry. Like, you know, there's people I know in the gaming community are happy. But, honestly, I put you in that third category think there isn't. I think there's nothing in America. Being fixed in the United States anymore. It's just better. You're better off just not dealing with them. Sorry, can't trust you. Can't trust you. Trust you. No, I don't mean that in the sense of playing games. Gotta speak my mind, you know. It's called freedom of speech. And I hear a lot of Americans go, "Oh, Canadians don't have freedom of speech." No, we don't have freedom to do what George Peters do. That's what we're doing. Okay? And I can live with that. I just don't engage with it. Okay? I don't want to have to do that kind of thing. I don't engage with it. Let Stephen Crowder deal with it. You know that Canadian who ran down to the United States, wants to play with guns, you know, talk about weird shit all the time. Isn't that great? I like talking about weird shit all the time like that. That's great for your kids, isn't it? Weird shit. You know, you gotta have a certain kind of strange mind to go looking for it too, right? You know where it is. That's another one. Well, and you know what's neat up here in Canada now, okay? The Conservatives and Liberals never used to get along very well up here, eh? Thanks to what Trump just did, boy, you got us all riled up against you now. All cooperating now. Good one. If you're conservative down in the U.S., you're just terrified now that you've probably made it so this liberal Trudeau will probably get elected for the next 20 freaking years. I hope Rob Ford gets elected in Ontario again, too. Yeah, I like the guy. I like what he said about not having to rely on foreign powers for anything anymore, either. Maybe we should take that policy a step further and turn that electricity down a little bit. Not for hospitals and emergency services, for 3 million American households. So you can realize what Canada means to you. Jesus Christ. When I heard that, Trump for peace. That's all there is to it. If anyone tells me any different, I'll just point them to the sources. And you can fake news yourself right into your stupidity. All of you. When someone dies, the next person that dies in Canada of it, I just can go, yeah, thanks, Trump. The next health worker that gets sick. Thanks, Trump. There's going to be no Trump loving left in Canada by the end of the week. You can get by them on trade. You can go grumble about it. You know, when there was an economy that we had something to lose. But we got nothing to lose right now, guys. We got nothing to lose. What do we got to lose? No, really. When the world reboots, it's going to need materials, it's going to need supplies, things that Canada has. Right? It won't need comics, it won't need games, it won't need whatever else. Right? It won't need lawyers, and it won't need Republicans, and it won't need Democrats. I was looking for a place where I could actually post where the support guys would see it and say, listen, I'll volunteer in that anytime plan. Okay? Tell me where it is and I'll find my way there. I'll do it all by social distancing all the way there. I'll walk. Right there. Get a bicycle, whatever. That's the rub, eh? You just gotta be the king of retarded. Yeah, next will be trying to call me a commie, eh? You know what I mean? Like, that'll be the next one, eh? That'll be our Russian asset. Yeah, that's it. That'll be what the Democrats call you, and then what will the Trump people call you? I don't know, whatever. All of them are all deranged. It's not Trump derangements, it's called Trump is deranged. I'm sorry, I gotta let this out because if I don't, I'm gonna snap. Just, you know, when more and more of us start using, like the rest of the world starts using these masks, and Trump comes, right? Do you think I want to be, I'm a Canadian, and materials from Canada go into those masks. Do you think I want to be part and parcel of a jerk who's doing that to the rest of the world? No. No. Not how it works, brother. Not how it works. Trump, you goof. You goof, buddy. Sad. I don't understand that move at all. It makes so little sense. You know what? Let's just end the free trade deal altogether. We might as well. Why not? Okay. We'll keep going there for Asia. We'll get Newfoundland for Britain and Europe. Right? Help the Europeans out of this. You know, they're having it real hard over there. Trump sent them money, eh? He doesn't want to send them any masks. He sends them money. What good is money when you can't use it? You know what the Germans actually said? They had a contact to get N95 masks. You know what? It wasn't the federal U.S. government that did them for it. It was just some other American. So rich people in the U.S. are buying up all the masks that they can find around the world to true people. How about that one? How about that one, eh, everybody? You like hearing shit like that? Isn't that wild? I bet you all the 1%ers in the U.S. have N95 masks. Want to know why the government up here in Canada started to put out the actual statistics we're working from, etc. Because I started making minor, not a threat, but it was like a discussion saying, listen, if people aren't going to be honest about things with people, you know, I will be. And unlike the rest of you, like when I look at this channel, I love you guys, okay? You're from all over the world, literally. Literally. I've got so many countries that are watching this channel that it mind boggles me. Okay? Right? It's actually pretty cool. I like that. You know? We're stronger together than we are apart. We don't need, you know, all this political correctness, okay, to have our diversity. Okay? Best job for the man, best man, woman for the job, okay? Don't care what gender you think you are and all that crap, whatever. Can you do this? Can you do that? Okay, there you go. There you go. You're the best at it, then that's what you go for. Okay? The way it should be. We need quality in this world. I want it. Okay? In some cases. We need support. We need quality. And you know what, guys, I'm going to say this, okay? I think we can all pretty well say that China is not reporting its statistics properly. It's literally between 30 and 36 every single day. And I hate to say it, but the last day that they reported that had 14,000 cases. And then just got into 36. somebody either found a cure and isn't telling anybody, or yeah. Yeah, you just had to have Trump cause a controversy, you know? He just has to keep his fucking name in the news. He is. He's got Trump's got ADD, man. Trump deficit disorder. He can't stay out of the news for longer than 5 minutes. I mean, he wants Canada to sign this damn free trade deal, and what's he doing? I just rip it up and say, okay, fine, we're done. We're totally done here. Have a nice day. We'll go deal with the European Union, whatever's left of it after all this. We'll make a deal with Britain, too. I hear they got high gas prices. Well, we got a bit of oil, and we're pretty close to you, eh? So it wouldn't take much to ship it up to you. You know? You might want to deal with us rather than Americans, considering that they're about to stiff you as well for N95 masks. We'll ship you up some N96 as a good faith measure, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's how it works, man. That's how you do business. That's how, you know, that's how I got 150 hacker groups together back in the, 15 or 20 years ago there. You know? I'd make a little deal here with you to get you to do this, to do that, and then, here's some rules about our little bylaws and associations. As long as you guys can kind of sort of follow them, we'll be all right. This is mainly for the lawyers. Trust us, we have a good idea. You don't go running around attacking people. You know, if you need something to learn, let me know. I'll hook you up with somebody. Blah, blah, blah. You know, that's how it goes, man. And, you know, I was in 150 chat rooms a day, you know, conversing with 4 or 5 people almost simultaneously at a time. It was pretty hard actually to remember who I was talking to and what I was talking about all the time, but I managed to bloody well do it because I got a frickin' brain. And when the Americans down there, they offered me 48 jobs or some shit, I told them, nope, sorry, not doing it. Nope, 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 not doing it. I'd rather be poor and never, you know, never have a nice car or house or anything and have to sell it. Sorry. Even joining YouTube is a thing back then. We all know who's running this place. At least YouTube's actually putting out some knowledge that's actually factual too. See, you know, we can have issues with YouTube here and there, but when they do something good, do you hear anybody actually say that I did something good? No, you don't, do you? I did. I was the first guy to respond. That's the whole point, man. When I'm critical of people, I can be a little bit strong at it, let's say. But that's because I've had to put up with those types of Americans who are just brainwashed. They are just brainwashed. They are. Because the second you start giving them facts and reality and showing them sources, they get abusive, right? So you got to learn how to defend yourself. Because I'm not a snowflake. By the end of this month, I guarantee you the United States will have no friends left. The only friends that they will have is the people that are just as evil as they are. Okay? And I fully expect that the N96 mask will be replacing the N95 worldwide. And Germany, don't worry about it. We'll get you some as soon as we get this factory up and going, which I'm told is in about 2 weeks. And we'll start producing millions. This is what I mean, man. You know, Trump just set us all up in business up here. Everyone's going to be making masks up here. Why not, eh? Yep, the free 3M will be right out of business, man. You just put 3M out of business. So there'll be more Americans out of work. Right on, buddy. I know some of the plants are in China, but whatever. Some are in Canada, some are everywhere. But one of the main ingredients for the mask comes from Canada. You know, it's called leverage, right? Never, ever, ever bullshit like this in business with anybody, okay? Especially when they have an ingredient that goes into what your product is. Bad move, man. Bad. Real stupid. I don't care. Okay, good time to say hi to the chat. Yeah. Oh, when you go into your OBS software, there's a thing called keyframes. Oh, my microphone level's low? Oh, hold on. I can solve that. Oops. Microphone. Put this up here. This up here. How's that, guys? Is that getting better? Yeah. Is that better? Is that better on the microphone? Hold on here, I'll check. Whoop, the wrong page. YouTube is buffering on me again. You see, remember I was trying to tell you guys that YouTube uses me as an experiment before they do it to you guys? So what they were doing to me was trying to find ways to lessen their bandwidth usages. This is what I've discovered myself. And they were doing all kinds of weird things to me, and it caused some bugs that they had to then fix, and then realize that they can't really do this. So what they're doing is they're rolling out some of these experiments to you guys again, right? And it's like I gotta have more of you guys start listening to what they do to me when I encounter it, right? And start getting a little more analytical of what they're doing, right? Because I noticed today there's this little red button, and there's a bunch of buttons and things over here that they've added, right? There's all kinds of other shit. And I bet you when I do something like this and bring the audio thing right over here, this will be a little bit better, eh? You hear me now better? That'll probably be a little bit better. Alright, you know what I'll do? Do this and open and link in another channel. Let me just see what it sounds like when I'm talking. And I can come right over here. Okay, that sounds fine. This will be a little bit better, eh? You hear me now better? Yeah, that's better. Anyway, so what I would suggest to everybody who's in Canada, we're back to again to this kind of a trade situation war with Trump again, all right, because he's taking bad advice from stupid idiots again. And like I said, Doug Ford, who is a staunch conservative, okay, who would run up and down and probably have all the same policies as Trump if he could, go listen to some live streams. Google Rob Ford, okay? All right, and listen to the guy. He goes at the end of the stream and he gets really angry, and he says, "Listen, it's time we stop relying on foreign people for products." Right? And you can tell in his voice that he's pissed. Right? Like, we're just about to hit our surge here up in in Canada, and Ontario's and Quebec's really about to hit it, and then Ontario and BC will get it, right? So this is where, you know, they came out with some statistics that up to 15,000 people will die up here. Well, that would be if we have enough masks, if we have enough whatever to look after everybody, right? And everybody keeps that's the absolute best situation, right? Okay, this just goes the way it is. And then another add-on is that this is going to last 2 years, because by flattening out the curve, and the way they're doing the testing is the virus is still alive out there, and it's going to survive into the fall, the winter, the spring of next year. So we're going to have to deal with this a little longer, but at least the health system will be able to handle it where fewer people will die. And that is the whole aim of the game. I also saw that the United States is skipping animal testing to get a vaccine done. Nothing like using humans as your animals in animal testing. That was pretty damn disgusting. And I know that we're not supposed to spread fear with the YouTube rules and stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm just dropping facts, okay? If people want a source of something or whatever, I am totally willing and able to give you all the sources and where they get their information in some cases, okay? The one webpage I posted about all this stuff, it has a link to all the sources, and if you look at all the news pages, they're using that place most of the time as an easy reference, okay? Most places are putting their data up to that place, okay? And they just started including testing numbers because then you can get a better idea of who's doing the better testing. And even though it looks like the U.S. has done the most tests, when you consider the size of their population, it's actually lower per capita than us in Canada. It's another one. Anyway, let me get back to my ship. I want to get an upgrade at some point here. As to that buffering thing, Willie, I couldn't find a solution. What I did, see, I use OBS on a PC, okay, and what is it? Google Chrome, usually most of the time. The only solution I had to fix that buffering weirdness, okay, was to first of all go into your cookies, nuke them all. So you're going to have to log back in and authenticate and all that jazz. When that doesn't work, okay, you then go over to Firefox. And I used an old version, 52 or 54. Logged into YouTube and went to the live stream and then just closed it. And then went back to Google Chrome, and then everything suddenly worked. And even their creators don't know what the hell that did. Nobody has a solution of why that worked. I know about browsers, okay, guys? I don't know. I can't explain that one. I cannot explain that one. There's some kind of a weird way they're doing something with a login that's creating a file somewhere, and that file got corrupted. And the only way to fix it was use a different browser, which probably dropped a new file down over top of it, and then when Chrome saw it, it probably dropped another new file on it, and then that new file creation sorted something. Whee! Isn't it grand using American technology? Yeah. Like, 90% of the people that I talked to on Twitter didn't even believe me. They were asking for sources, and then they would all shut up when I showed them the sources. And then the only people that would even engage were just abusive, just trying to, get under your skin. That's why I do it, is because I know how to deal with people like that. Dealt with them all my life. It's like, have a nice day, buddy. Mute, 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 mute. Get rid of all the dummies. Put them on a list. There we go. Now we know who you are. This one should be in a mental ward. Carry on. Yeah, I'm on disability for a bad back, okay, and a breathing disorder caused by breathing in some chlorine after having been wrongfully arrested a few years back, where this Italian fella who worked at a place where I used to work, lost his job, came home and stole my beer. So when I got home from work and I found that, because I was on light duties for this bad back, I usually went out to the bar for pain relief, okay? Good paying job, Wasn't taking any drugs or whatever, you know. So I go back down to his room and I see the beer there. So I take it back, put it back up in my room, go out to the bar. Well, little did I know that just a minute here. There's one of these lasers is improper. Hold on here. Ah, there it is. Out of there. That must be an R laser, right? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I come back home and all these police cars show up the house, and I walked into the kitchen and I was about to make a peanut butter sandwich, and they come in through the door. I said, "Where's the knife?" And I was like, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So I opened up the drawer and I went to, with 3 fingers, grabbed one, and they put it in a bag, and then they arrested me. At court, that came out, and everybody was laughing their head off, you know. And add to the fact that the police put me in the back of a car telling me that they had the entire bar under surveillance because apparently there was a coke dealer that was working out of that bar. So they knew I was there all that time, that I couldn't have done this, and they were still arresting me. Yeah, it was quite a fun trip. And then they wouldn't let me back in the house, so I went over to across the street to the community center. I was going to go to like a homeless shelter the next day and sort myself out, right? Get like a, I don't know, new apartment, whatever. I had a $20, $30 an hour job, so whatever, right? Even my landlord came back and he gave me half my rent money back. You know, you know, it was just like he liked me, didn't like the other guy. He's an idiot. These Italians, man, you don't mess with them either. You know. This guy though, he's just a tune. So anyway, long story short, I go over there. The security guard comes out. You can't sleep on this picnic table bench, but there's a warm air vent around the side, and there's this is a community pool thing, right? So let's see what's going on here. Am I okay? So I'm getting all the. Anyway, so he says, "Well, here's a piece of plastic for like a blanket, and here's a little towel." And I go around the side, right, and lay down there and. A little funny smell in the air. Okay, whatever. Little did I realize, or even he was thinking, that the chlorine coming off the pool was coming in there. So now I got damage to the lungs. This is why this affects. I'm one of those kinds of people with a possible precondition that may have me dangerous to this shit, right? That's why I'm taking it a little more serious than the rest of you. Maybe, eh? Maybe? Huh? Right? So anyway, yeah. So I get down to the courthouse there. I borrowed $1,000 off my dad, who's a Hell's Angel. That's great. Borrowing money off a biker. You know, I ended up paying him back 3.5 times that amount of money. Just so you know, they don't give a shit if you're family or not. You pay. Anyhow, I get into the courtroom, and the guy changed his story, you know, and all this. They kept trying to trip me up on mine, and I says, I says to the lady, says, "Listen, man, I'm not the one who sits here trying to change my story every 15 minutes, eh?" And I says, I'd like you to do DNA testing on the knife here, because you're going to find out that the only place you have my DNA on it is on the very tip where I picked it up out of the goddamn drawer when these stupid cops were asking me where the knives were. I says, they're in here in the drawer. You know what I mean? Like, nice try, asshole. I mean, when I said that, I says, you know what? And then the cop gets on the stand there. He lies about how many cops even come to arrest me. Right? I says, you know what, Your Honor? I'd like a little continuance here, because I'd like to subpoena my whole neighborhood to show how that guy's lying. And there were 4 people in the courtroom, eh? Well, after that, the whole courtroom filled up, and it was like a circus after that. Judge finally throws up his hands. I don't know who to believe. Case dismissed. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, thank you. What a shitstorm that was, eh? So don't ever think, that bullshit doesn't happen to everybody, eh? I was so hammered in the back of that. Like, I'll give you an example of me drinking at this bar. Okay, I would go in there, and I would go pitcher after pitcher, and I'm 5'6", maybe 150 pounds. Okay, and I would just drink the whole pitcher like a glass. And these bikers sitting over to the next behind me were going, I could hear them. Look at this little fucker drink. Got a good introduction, eh? You guys are talking to a couple of these guys there, eh? I guess that's what the cops are thinking, eh? Maybe he's one of them. Maybe he'll spill the beans on these guys or some shit, eh? Yeah, fuck off. They started guarding me when I went down there. It was kind of neat after that. You know, I go down to the bathroom and get 2 bodyguards, go down there with me, make sure no one mess with you. Oh, that's cool. How's your day, boys? Never talk to people in the bathrooms at bars. It's not right. I thought I was getting killed the first time I seen it too, eh? You go down, there's these 2 guys that are like 2 feet taller than you, and they're on it. Every single time you go to the bathroom, man, you're going, oh my God, what did I do? Anyway, back then, and this is before BitTorrent existed, I had been working on some software that actually had better encryption than what BitTorrent ended up having, and the protocol I had designed would actually have been used in 8 pieces of software, and the reason you have encryption on things like BitTorrent at all was because I went to SourceForge.net, set up a project, and as part of the project title back then, I threatened the RIAA and everybody else that, by saying, if BitTorrent doesn't want to have encryption, I'll do it. That's how crazy I was back then, eh? I was doing a little bit of a rebellious mode, Anyway, that's just a little bit about me, eh? I'm not a perfect human being. I'm not a saint, I make mistakes, and I take responsibility for them. Okay, that's a difference, Other people, they never do, and they wonder why, Like I was having a discussion with one guy on Twitter, and he was whining about how somebody was complaining about one of his YouTube things from 8 months ago where he made a mistake, and I was like, man, that's 8 months ago. Why don't you frame it like that, okay? And then do a video with correction if you did in fact do something wrong. Problem solved. No need to whine. You're taking up bandwidth. Bandwidth is going to start getting pricey here, as time goes on here. I got better things to do. Nah. Jeez. Anyway. Yeah, and when they announced the new rules about allowing everybody to have COVID thing, that was another thing. Then my, suddenly my subscription, when I click on it, there's a page that suddenly appears, and it'll have everybody's lives all in a row, right? And then after that is people that had a live or uploaded a video, how long ago they uploaded, right? Well, none of that was showing up previous, eh? It's like they had me on some kind of weird lockdown thing, right? They're all getting paranoid, eh? Or so, I don't know, something. Well, what did I do now? Uh-oh. Anyway. There, that feels better. Nothing like removing gaseous anomalies from one's lower and upper intestinal tracts. Yes. So one of the girls inside the store was lying to me too about this. They haven't got any this toilet paper in there, and so long or whatever. What they're doing, I think, is you have to ask for it, and then they'll go get it for you. All right. That just makes it so that they can keep a handle on it, kind of shit, so to speak. That's kind of a weird way of putting it, but anyway. Come on here. Oh, there we go. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing fine. Make sure you guys check each other out, all that stuff. We're all in it together, You want a good laugh, okay? there's a Canadian called Red Green. Well, it's not Red Green. That's the name of the show, is Red Green. And he's got a lot of his episodes here. And one of the things he says near the end of his shows is, keep your stick on the ice, and we're all in it together. Remember that. Okay? Americans can go it themselves, see how far it takes them. Okay? Remember, okay? Statistics that Trump was using for a 240,000 death thing, okay, was from 12 days ago. 12 days ago. And those stats that are brought up are at least a week getting to that page. So you're looking at 19 days ago. That's the stats he's using for his models. Even the ones that came out from Premier Ford were a little... That's the ultimate optimist, like what they were saying there. If everybody does this social distancing and does what we're doing now, and we can keep the hospitals going, got enough of these masks and things and all that, 15,000 deaths is at most, right? 3,000 if we're lucky. Okay. I mean, they just did it to Germany too. They were on the way to the Germans, and they got told they can't give them to them. This is a good business opportunity there, Premier Ford. Get her done. Get them N96s going. Sell them at cost right now, and then later on we'll worry about making some other arrangements with business with these nations that want to buy these masks. We'll do the right business with you. That's right. I bet you there's a bunch of Americans right now trying to plot different ways to kill me. Oh, it wouldn't bother me either. Not afraid of nothing. Getting there. I had absolutely zero iron here when I started this, just before the stream, so we're doing pretty good here. I get lots of coinage. Try and get about 200,000-300,000, and then I'll call it on the stream here. I'll probably have to go and watch Premier Ford's thingy there, because Trump made it actually worse too afterwards, because he got asked about it. And what did Trump say? Well, Canada wants to push back, go ahead. Oh, isn't that just... The guy's a loon. It's like he wants us to cause you all death down there. That's sick. He's sick. He's sick. There's no one that can convince me otherwise anymore. Okay? When I see someone on Twitter post something about Trump, I say, oh, like him stealing N95 masks from Germany and Canada, and especially when Canada actually has a material that goes into those things. Maybe we should do the same thing, eh? We should be just like you, right? Just stop you from getting that material so we can just have it. You want it? You're going to pay for it. There you go. I can see it too. Once the Americans get anything that could be remotely like a vaccine, they're going to be like charging $1 trillion for it everywhere, right? That's why, meh. And they wonder why so many people around the world have... This is gonna change a lot of things, man. Doing shit like that. It puts a lot of ammunition into anti-Trumpism, as I would call it. Okay. I was just sort of a neutralist, as you might say. He does good things now and then. He does a few silly things, and they kind of were balancing out, right? Well, when it starts killing people in my own country, I'm done with it. I will not remain neutral. And I will speak up about it. And there's no Americans that can stop me from doing that. Because I am actually free to talk that way. And if YouTube wanted to bring out a rule to stop me, I'll just fire up my own web server. And I've been gathering all the contact data to get in contact with every one of my subs, so that if I need to, I'll contact every single one of you and invite you. And then I'll make a pitch a deal to the government of Canada to start our own YouTube. Interesting thought, eh? Very interesting. I might even pitch it to Rob Ford. It would be an interesting thing, eh? Why should we rely on American YouTube? Yeah. You see, I bet you there's a lot of people that are starting to think. This is opening a lot of eyes right now. What can you do for yourself, eh? That's the whole point, right? It's all me, 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 me. No, it ain't. Let's see here. Oh, it's just everywhere, man. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. There we go. Oh, gotta get closer. There we go. Anyway, one of the things I'm going to do in my all my video gaming and everything from now on is I will have a link to that COVID-19 Corona SARS-CoV-2 page with all the statistics on it. It also has scientific data, the latest that comes from all science guys around the world and all that stuff. Some of it's actually quite hard to read. I mean, you know, we're not doctors and scientists, but it's right there for you to see. Anyway, I will include it. And I was even having a discussion with an American about most of them don't even understand what N95 means, right? The 95 part means it stops 95% of the particles coming into your lungs when you breathe with that mask. Okay, 95%, not 100. Okay, 95. So the better we can do with that, the better. You know, that's why you're about to be put out of business because of the way you just acted. So instead of doing business with you, okay, we'll do it ourselves. That's what you've done. Okay. I mean, you're not selling any of your shale gas now in Europe, eh? Wonder why that is. And you start pulling stuff like this to Germany. Well, I guess Germany's going to want to get some of that Russian oil now. Brr. Pew, 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 pew. I got the sound turned down on this so I can talk over it. I was messing around with my audio there, so I apologize for the beginning. I was turning it right off when I was doing some testing of the website stuff there. And most of that you see is actually free code. I just kind of changed it a minor amount, right? What I will be ending up doing is I'll have to go in, get real serious with this little Blender school thing, and do up some imagery, and then integrate it into that, and then use OBS, and then do a little mini video of it, and that will be a little bit of an intro. I mean, I could even use Unreal Engine for bits and pieces of things too, and just sort of, yeah. See, I could be, you know, doing more things than, you know, than I am, but here I am making sure that people have, you know, aren't being misinformed and aren't being able to spread bullshit and lies, right? Like I noticed that the amount of people that are that usually are yick 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 Trump this Trump that, they're real quiet all of a sudden today. Yep. Or this morning, I should say. Last night they're all yak 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 yak. As soon as it comes out that Canada actually has one of the materials in those masks, and that we're making a better version ourselves, right? Suddenly everything's changed, right? Bad move. You know, I just can't believe the stupidity of that move. I just can't. It's boneheaded. Wow, there's a lot in here, right? Okay. Yeah, like I could fire up a web server right now and put my videos embedded into the thing, but I only have 10 megabit of upload speed, right? So you get two people watching a 720p, and then that's all my bandwidth. So yeah, so you would have to get a server here, probably from some place like OVH or something in Quebec or something like that, and or Toronto, I guess. And it would be a little bit pricey, depending on how you set it up, or if you have actual admin access. Because if you did, then I could go in and I could do some tweaking of things, making sure security is all there. They haven't backdoored any encryption, so that I'm secure. I was mucking around with all kinds of neat stuff there the last few days. It's good to mess with code. I like messing with code. Here, let's see what this does. Oh, that's a neat effect. Hackety hack. That's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. That's what hacking is, man. It's messing with the code. A lot of people don't get that. They think it's like you're stealing credit cards and you have to, criminal shit all the time. No, you're not, man. Not, Criminals use that knowledge. And I'm neutral on that too, because they're just, if everybody had a decent wage and a decent living, they wouldn't need to do certain things, would they? That's my take on that. You're less inclined. Go this way and get these big ones over here. 143. I think I'll get to 150,000. I'll stop talking to people in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. And when I was watching your video there too, Willie, nothing wasn't buffering for me. But I noticed that when I watch other people's videos, it does that. But that's because some people's videos, when I'm watching them, I use an ad blocker. And what YouTube has done is made it so that Chrome is whitelisting certain advertisers. But because I have an ad blocker that still works, what it will do is it will give you a little So that little buffering is actually probably your ad blockers that's doing its job. If you don't have an ad blocker, then it's probably your ISP having some congestion on a network, because everybody's at home doing nothing.
Nothing of value. And I think what Trump's also doing is he's worried that I'm right about these statistics. Okay, I don't want to fearmonger again, but what if he's wrong and it's worse? He wants to have millions of masks for everybody, right? And I can just tell you, I guarantee you that most of the people are using these masks improperly, and they're not washing them, or you don't realize you don't realize that these masks don't last that long. That's why they're expensive. Yep. But hey, I'm just here to play games, right? Shut up and, don't have any opinion on nothing, right? Yeah. You don't know me. I guess I'll get that one while it's in the way. Too far away for that. Move up. There we go. Okay. Gotta rise up above this thing here. This one. Doesn't take long, does it? You have this many lasers on there. So until the NAFTA thing gets signed, which it probably won't be as long as Trump's pulling stupid acts. The original Star Trek is in the public domain in Canada, so what I might be doing is doing some stuff with Star Trek, and then I'll put it into the YouTube Content ID system and ban Americans. That way I don't run afoul of their copyright laws, and that the rest of us can enjoy some Star Trek and have some fun with stuff, I'll show what you're losing when you add 50 or 25 more years to copyright. Because it's not like we're getting any proper, good, decent Star Trek out of CBS Paramount. They completely staffed for like half a decade or a decade and a half of people that didn't like sci-fi. Les Moonves, the former CEO who got the boot, he didn't like science fiction at all. So, you won't get it from him, right? And all the people he hired, the people doing the shows and everything were people he hired. So, yeah, I'm old school on Star Trek and Star Wars and Babylon 5, Space 1999, and all the oldies. Even some British stuff like UFO and different shows like that. Doctor Who back, first, I'll say the first 5 seasons of the new show were good, and then everything prior to that, except for Sylvester McCoy. I just did not like that guy. Some people do, so whatever. It's just a lot of the stuff that came out in some aspects in the '80s it just was nobody had any money because there was big recession going on. So I like my special effects, here and there. But my most favorite Doctor was Tom Baker. He did a video game called Shadow something. I forget. It was recent. It was like a Diablo 3 game where he was like narrating, and there was also like a demon guy that you are, and you got extra people and stuff, and it was pretty trippy, and it looked good too. I'll have to dig it back out again. I got games that like from GOG and stuff like that. I got on hard drives. I got games all over the place. I got software all over the place that I bought here and there. And yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, I want that little white piece. We're gonna start collecting this stuff more. Lots of that other stuff. Ooh, brakes. See, this is another thing that Americans will end up trying to pull, right? If Canada tried to get tough a little bit with them, they'll start trying to mess with internet and things. This is why I made the comment on Twitter. Maybe I should come out of retirement, because when I was running this little hacker thing here in Canada, there were 1,000 of us here in Canada. I just put the call back out for everybody to show up, and I'd say, okay, let's go talk to some government people and see who they want us to protect today. You know, deputize me, man. You know what I mean? Like the Wild West. Wouldn't take long, man. Wouldn't take long. Okay, get this little piece here, and I'll say hi to people in the chat. There we go. Yeah, I had the microphone part, like this little unit that's like a video camera. I put some tape over the little thing where the video camera is so no one can see me. And then I got there's like on one end has a microphone. Well, it was turned away from you guys, so that's why and it was a little further away. If I bring it too close up, and plus the fact it's picking up backgrounds, right? Like you hear that background noise? That's the computer, and when I had this little heater sitting beside me turned on, it could hear them. So that was a bit annoying when I was trying to do a test on this little website stuff from previously over there, like my previous couple videos. And you can't just go to this website and get the free code and bring it down to your hard drive and open it up in a browser and it will work. You had to actually, for some of it, install some software into a web server and have a web server doing it. So I had to actually go and do that. So I went and I grabbed the web server, installed this extra software. Then there's a tweak to OBS called hardware acceleration you have to trip on. And so then I'm doing all this, and then I'm trying to find the code that will make that one. There's in the intro thing, you get past the third one where it says commentary. It's so hard on my resources, right, to make that speed up, right? I almost feel like the way to do this properly is to chunk up each of those into small videos and then combine the videos, because when they're run by themselves, they don't eat the resources. It's almost like there's something in the memory that is keeping stuff in there so that it can load faster and stuff. which I haven't looked at the code to know if that's what it's doing. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. I know, man. Like, I was watching you there having a wrestling match there, and I said hi, and I noticed that I guess maybe you were getting buffered or something. You were doing your match and doing little cutscenes in between the matches and stuff. See, Willie's the guy that, if you wanted to go see some gamers, right, and get a little bit of growth, you go over to Willie's channel, and he posts your channel in his channel, okay? So you can see also other people there, and that's kind of a neat thing. I would do that, but sometimes I get 5 or 6 people in here talking, and having a bot go, would be kind of silly. So in respect to that, if somebody's listening and wants to grow a bit, I would suggest go over to Willie and then you check out these other guys. They'll probably hit you back up. Who knows, right? That's up to them. It's not a sub for sub kind of setup here. We're all part of a community here. Okay? And yeah, there's Americans in it that are cool people. There are people from all over the world in the community I associate with. Okay? And of all the genders too. There's some ladies there. I was talking to Molly Cupcakes there the other day. She was I haven't seen her around in a while. So glad to see her back too. She was a pretty good first person shooter gamer. It's actually pretty good. She's a lot better than I'd be at some games. I can't I don't know what it is, Willie. I can't handle those controllers, eh? I'm never any good with using the controller. Give me a keyboard though, I can mess you right the hell up. you know? Because I can get my brain into hitting certain keys, a key combination or something like that, but it's the way it fits in my hands, and then I don't know. Here I was about to roll the smoke, get out the cigarette papers, and then open the tobacco, and then shut the bag of tobacco and set it back down while I'm talking. Yeah, I can't do more than one thing at once, eh? Anyway. And you can imagine, eh? One of the ways that I would have, see, if I was Trump, what I would have done with this mask situation is say, listen, we'll sell you these masks, Canada, but this N96 mask, you got to license it also to 3M so we can get some of those. You see, that's how I would have handled it. That's how I would have handled that. And then say, listen, we're really getting a bit of a surge up here in the States. We might need to have a little more of these on hand for blah 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 blah. We're gonna put the foot down on supplying some of these out. So find some solutions otherwise. And you put it in those terms rather than the way he did it, okay? Then I don't have any problems, you see. It's just his blunt hit people over the head with a hammer type of shit. He's just like that, eh? It can work a lot of the time, but eventually you get something serious like this that really can cause lives everywhere. And the constant hitting over the head of your allies, it just does not do you any good. Like what do we got here for time? We're at over, what, an hour? As soon as I'm done in this smoke, I'm going to go about an hour and a half today, just a short one. Because I want to see what Rob Ford's going to be saying here. He'll be on in about half an hour, so, because basically Trump's daring us, Trump is daring us to do anything. That's what he's doing. He was trying to do it during the free trade stuff, and I told everybody the things that we could do to them, and we didn't. We're just not evil like they are. But we got to change that. We got to change that. We got to stop pandering to evil. Okay? That's the thing. Yeah. Anyway. Smoke break. Anyway, we'll go over here and get a bit more of this. Pretty powerful lasers. See, and now we know why Trump put those troops on the border. Okay, it's because the man is so bloody paranoid. He thinks Canada's going to try and sneak across the border to get masks. That's what I'm thinking, man. That's the only logic sense to that, right? Well, when Canada switches over to the N96 that is made by Canadians by a Canadian company, and you run out of masks down there because we're diverting the materials from the N95 and 3M to our companies and helping the rest of the world, who do you got left to blame? Who do you got left to blame? Yep. It's hilarious. Anyway. He's just butthurt that Canada won't call it the Wuhan virus. That's how typical his brain would be. They won't call it what I want, so I will stop them having masks. We'll get them all. Gotta have them all. I mean, even the New York mayor or governor was saying he has enough for now, but he will need some in the future. So the order to Canada would be fine. In a couple of weeks, we'd have our own supply, plus, which would free up 3M to give you those masks for when you're getting low again. Like that's the problem with what Trump's doing. There's no logic to the need. It's just punitive damages. Like, it's going to get to a point where the politicians can't just keep sitting here pandering to them. Because what it looks like is what Churchill and all the rest of the asshats were doing in World War II, okay, to appease Hitler. You keep appeasing people, it doesn't work. Put the foot down on it, and then maybe he'll take you bloody serious where you won't do these kinds of things. That's all. I guess he doesn't care if we turned off the lights on the northern U.S. or that we stopped shipping them 3 million tons of aluminum so that they can make war machines and guns and ammunitions and tanks and everything else. Go look up what aluminum is in. Yeah, man. Wow. Just bloody wow, eh? I guess it's a good thing I'm not running the country. Maybe they put them troops there to invade us, eh? Maybe that's what the plan is, eh? We'll pull some kind of move like that, and then they're going to put their fucking troops there, eh? Well, let's get our troops all lined up on the borders too, eh? Maybe we'll invite some Russians over, and then who else could we invite? Eh? I don't know. You know, if you attack a Commonwealth country, that means you declare war on the entire Commonwealth, which would mean technically you'd be declaring war on Great Britain. Just remember that. That would be an interesting day. Yep. Like, think about it. It's just starting to have problems with this. Right? They're not going to be able to get any of these masks at all. Right? Well, enter Canada. We'll help you out, man. By the time they have a really bad need for them, we'll be there for you. Don't worry about it. It's all right, man. Canada will take care of the world. Yep. And you still got those other silly people saying that the this COVID-19 thing is not even real. That was something I saw that just blew my mind. Yep. When people come to the realization next that this isn't just going to be lasting another month, that it's going to last a couple of years, that's when their minds are going to start getting blown, right? That's the end of free trade. It's done. The free trade deal, you might as well end it and go with other we got free trade with 45 other nations. We might as well deal with them rather than the Americans. All right? We'll just end it. Just end it. I don't see a purpose. I don't see a purpose. Yeah. And then one guy was saying, well, we're going to make you build a wall. You see what I mean? That's the kind of stupid shit you get out of the mind of an American. Instead of, how can we fix this problem so that you guys can get enough masks for you and that we have enough for ourselves, and then when you get the better masks, that you could ship some down to the U.S. here. No, no, don't do that. That would be, only the right thing to do. Oh well. I think that's part of the other reason why YouTube probably got told to start letting people talk about this, because it's a mental health issue. If you don't get, you're all stuck inside. What are you going to do? You can't go out in the field and scream, right? Got to talk about it. And I purposely left people. I just said, here's some sources and some facts. Okay, I'm not here to argue with you. Okay. As soon as you start trying to act like that, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I have no reason to. You're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem. Okay? Yep. Yep. The world needs solutions right now, not people that are idiots or act like idiots. Jeez, quit acting like you're tough online too, eh? I'll go invent a Windows 10 hard disk killer. And just give it out free. Eh? It's pretty easy to do that with an SSD. You just make a piece of software that constantly reads and writes data to the hard drive, and it'll destroy your hard drive quicker. It won't be something that happens right away, but the lifespan of your SSD would then be much less. Thus, you're spending more money all the time just to do whatever it is you're doing. That's why I don't like them. I don't like them. Sure, they're faster. Sure, they're you can do this, and this with it. But you can only do it if you're rich. That's the whole point. One guy, after I had to explain to him, I says, it's called humility, buddy. If you're wrong about something, be humble and say, hey, I made a mistake somewhere and I'll fix it, right? And he goes, oh, what the hell are you talking about? What's that got to do with it? I did this and somebody got credit. So I says to him, so it's even worse than that. You're still right, and other people are crying about you being wrong. Oh, I see. I said, so they're trolling you, and you fell for it, and they got a reaction out of you, and now that they know they can get a reaction out of you, they're going to keep bugging you. Ah, you see, I learned that one a long time ago as well. Yeah. Certain people you can just ignore because they're just looking for attention. They're just looking to arise out of somebody. Big deal. Better things to do, I haven't played this game in a few days. I got the Total War installed. Having fun with that too. Having fun with my coding, and so what I've done for my own self is I kind of set it up like a little school, right? I have 4 or 5 hours a day of school, and then I have my play, little play beforehand, then into school, and then I go back to having a little bit of entertainment later on, watching other people and doing other things. I got to see a bit of Willie's stream this morning before I came on here. He's always a good, if you're going to see somebody who's loyal, that's Willie. I still remember, and what all started this, I remember, it was about a month or so ago. YouTube, me and him were talking in the chat, and YouTube was trying to unsubscribe me from him, and him from me. That was funny as hell. Oh, and it wasn't anything, nobody hacked any accounts or any of that shit. It was just somebody at YouTube that just didn't like, some opinion that I had and decided to mess with me. It's not a bot. Bots don't do that. Why would a bot do that while somebody's in a live stream? That would be a bug. That would be a bad bug, and one that you would have. It would be a terminal one that would cause me, if I were in charge, to take the thing offline until it was bloody well fixed. Because you're going to then have to spend more money having people explain what the hell's going on. All right? YouTube's just loving this though, eh? They get to hide behind the AI and just do nothing, or as little as possible. Hey, here's some new stickers for you. Yay! Hey, look at! I just started hanging out with all the top YouTubers. Yay! Jeez. Yeah, and everybody's view counts has just dropped right through, and it all happens right when I get my biggest video yet, right? When I had 4K views on it, right? And then they start this shit. And they do that. That's why I just, whatever. I just do whatever I feel like I'm doing anymore, Eventually I'm going to set something up where I'll make some business pitches to do a Canadian version of YouTube and some such. And then maybe I'll talk to that Jordan Peterson once he's a little better off. He was setting up a payment processing place here in Canada or something like that. I heard he had some medical issues, and I had to take that medicine after being exposed to chlorine, so I know what he's talking about. It is a bad medicine to get addicted to, because if you just stop it cold turkey, you can have a heart attack and die. Yep. Oh, get that little piece. You're around the corner here. Yeah. Well, I also noticed that since they turned on all my stuff again, my view counts are starting to increase. Everything else is back, increasing. Da 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 da. But anyway, if you're American, don't take this, too terribly to heart. This is my opinion, okay, of your government, the style of government, the way it functions, the way it doesn't function. But I have to say, I'm a kind of person that takes responsibility for my actions, and when it's your government, you're responsible for it. I don't care if you didn't vote for it, then you're responsible for not putting someone in power who could be responsible. And if you did vote for it, well, then that makes you even more responsible for putting certain idiots in power. Okay? C is for Kronos. You should flip that thing sideways there, yeah. And I'll say this too. When I'm a little bit more anti-Trump, I'm going to be honest with you guys. My view counts go up because the rest of the world, we see what this guy does, and he does some pretty screwed up shit now and then. And then he does like one, for every good thing he does two things that just make your head, you want to scratch your head. That's why people have a hard time dealing with him, is because they really don't know where he's going. That's what happens when you put a talk show host in charge of your country, eh? Just wow. Anyway, 2 war robots. I don't have any war robots, and I don't have the money to pay for the license to get them and transport them. Anyway, he's almost 200K. Come on. Yeah, SpaceX has had its third mishap with its launch vehicle in a row. Yeah. Yep. Huh? Yeah, and there's another problem that no one's really talking about with colonizing Mars. If the planet's core is shrinking and there still is a weak magnetic field, that's going to cause, it'd be like having a giant sinkhole. So you're going to have to place yourself in places where the crust is really thick, and know that you're going to be prone to massive earthquakes all the bloody time. Oh joy, eh? Sign me up. Can I go live on Mars where the soil is poisoned? Like it's just such a wrong area to go. I mean, they're just doing this. You know what this is? It's a black op thing where they're using pretend money to put something into orbit, this little space force that none of us know about yet. Right? Don't worry, we'll figure it out. We always do. You know. Anyway. And this one person on Twitter says, "Oh, you're the only one saying anything about this, eh?" So if I'm the only one saying about this, then that would mean that Trump is actually listening to what I said and went on to a video and actually spoke. So I've got 2 presidents listening to me in my life. Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, mother! Get that into you. I was laughing at when I heard that, eh? He says, "What do you mean? What was the other president?" Oh, that was the day after, the second day, on September 13th. Because on September 12th, Bush came out and called all hackers terrorists. So, in our little organization for 6 months, we knew that we had a mole, and we'd been using it to have some fun with it. And so I just I had enough of this shit. I took the guy over to the website where the Taliban News web server was. Oh my, it's wrecked. Who would have done that? Oh. And then you get Bush the next day going on there going, "Oh, hackers on terrorists. But could you leave the web servers alone?" Yeah, you got to talk to your friends somehow, right, Bush? And who's the source for that? Me. Want the proof? I'll go dig the hard drive out. I've kept it real nice since that time, eh? She still works. Woo! I'll make a bloody backup. Just, and I'll put it somewhere safe. Yeah, you won't be able to Assange me. Oh, they could. That's the only thing, eh? These U.S. people, they're so heavy-handed in all their ways, right? They think that, you know, you go and you do this to Julian Assange, right? That would stop me from talking, right? There were some threats made when I came back to YouTube even. And I'm like, go ahead, do your worst. And of course, nothing, right? Nothing. Boom. Oop, over there. So yeah, I will be doing something with Star Trek. And then I'll put it into the content ID. And unfortunately, if you're American, you won't be able to see it. Because the copyright in Canada right now for Star Trek, the original series, was up in 2017. Okay? and it's 95 years from 1967. So you're looking at 2060 something before you'll be able to do anything. So whatever. And then I'll make sure that Bill Shatner has a look at it, and some of the other guys. Just me mucking around with things. I'll say, hey, Bill, what's up? He's a funny guy too. I helped him. He was trolling somebody on Twitter himself. There, he's good at getting people going. He's actually doing shit for the History Channel. That's pretty whacked. Ancient aliens, woo! That dude in his hair, man. Sorry, Giorgio. Yeah, he believes that stuff though. So that's one of those things where you're allowed to have your opinion, but you just don't act like your opinion is fact and science, right? Make sure you always say it's for entertainment, and that let's play what if, and then you could do the whole series just by saying let's play what if, and that's it. One of the things that they did good was they had some good special effects stuff in there. Let's get back to the chat for a minute here and lay smoke. Yeah, I got the thing going, Gizmo. I'll have to give you a check here. Yeah, the one thing I also notice is that I have to go in manually and turn the live chat back on, so I'll do that afterwards. I watch the Premier Ford thing, and I'll watch Trudeau too. I mean, they're getting along really good, man. Like we're all in this together, kind of deal, right? And I guess from here on in, you don't be relying on Americans to help you. Okay, they're into panic mode now down there. They're into everyone's out for each other. That's what their government is starting that. Okay, look at the statistics, and they've tested 1.2 million people, and they have 300,000 people. That's 25% rate that has the virus. That's pretty scary. And YouTube says rules about they could give you a copyright strike now if you cause fear and stuff, right? Yeah. Hey, Stevie, did you hear what Trump's doing to Germany and Canada? And they'll probably be doing it to your country shortly. The N95 masks are made by a company called 3M, and Trump just made an order yesterday to stop Canada from getting it had paid for an order, and it stopped us from getting these masks. And Germany's had an order stopped mid-flight. They just said, nope, you're not allowed to sell these anymore to them. So the good news is, where I live in Ontario here, we'll be making a better mask called the N96. And by hell or high water, you know what? I even said it around. I'll help them sell it to the rest of the world, or at least get you some at cost or whatever the hell. You know what I'm saying? And the kicker is, what Trump doesn't realize is the material that goes into these N95 masks, one of them comes from Canada. So, okay, go replace it. And there is no replacement, by the way, I found it. So, when we go to make our masks, we'll start making them with that material, and sorry, buddy. Then the panic's going to hit the shit down there. That's why he probably put the army on the south of our border. They're thinking they'll try and invade us. I wouldn't put it past dipshit down there. You know, he's crazy. I'll give out another statistic too. Per capita, as far as guns, Canadians have more guns than Americans do. And that should freak you the heck out. Because 15, 20 years ago, it wasn't like that. That may freak a lot of people out, actually. So I shouldn't say that, really. But, you know, that means a lot of farmers and a lot of gun owners have a lot of guns. right? And then there's just a lot of people that don't have anything, right? Anyway. And I hope you're doing well, Stevie. You know, like, hey, everybody keep safe. I'm just going around collecting rocks. Yeah, man. Everybody must get stoned. Stoned. Stone. Stone. Yeah, stone. Yeah, they closed the pot shops today. Yeah, yeah. It's no longer an essential service to get yourself stoned and play video games. So I guess we're all gonna get freaked out and go, I can't handle this anymore, and wander out into the street and then get a disease and die. Yep. Oh, and make sure you get your drugs from bikers from now on. You know, there you go. Got to create employment for everybody, right? This is where some of the actions start getting a little stupid. I heard one guy, he's over in Russia, and they're not allowed to go 100 meters from their house. He says, "Where do I take my dog to take a shit?" I was laughing my fucking head off at that. Just take him outside the house and tell him right there, man. The dog looks at you funny, well, you just go, hey, well, I can't potty train you, so, you know. Wow. Okay, here, where is that resource center? We'll go get some coin here. Yeah. I'm gonna have to download Fortnite so I can start doing some cross-play with some of you guys too. We have to get some games where we can all get together and just act stupid. And that means, you know, stuff that's like cross-play. Oh, 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 get up there to them. Oh. There we go. Tractor beams. Zoom. Yeah, I'll be going off here a bit, and then I gotta watch. I gotta see how this Doug Ford. See his brother, the premier of Ontario. His brother, they found out he was a crackhead, and he used to run the mayor of the city of Toronto. Okay, I'm not kidding you guys. It was just like a whole bunch of comedy up here for a few years for politicians. Okay, and this is his brother, and his brother died from it actually. Okay, so he's a little more strict on medicines, and like, he's a businessman totally. Okay, and he was not impressed with the way the American. He's whew, not impressed, man. Not impressed. And a lot of Americans that were on Twitter last night were like, I think you're full of shit. I says, you don't have any sources to this. And I said, oh yeah, here, listen to the Prime Minister of Canada talk about taking our nurses back that are helping Americans out. What about the fact we supply the northern U.S. with power? What about the fact that we give 3 million tons of aluminum that you can't replace for all your war machines down there? Okay. What about the material that goes into the N95 masks? Like, hey, let's start something, you know? Trump's just got to be in the news, eh? He's just got to be in the news. If his stupid nostrils ain't in your face, he's doing something wrong, he thinks, you know? Myself, I'm like one of those kinds of people, if you're not hearing anything about your government, it's probably doing things right. That's the thing, right? Anyway, just rolling a smoke here. Stress, you know. Was going to quit smoking, but yeah, right. Yeah, and they say that the government released its data and said up to 15,000 of us in this little province could die here. Up to 80 to 100,000 people. And that's if we keep this bullshit going. And then they're projecting that this bullshit's going to last for 2 years. It can't. It just can't. You can't have this go on where nobody can work like this. I mean, how do you pay for it? You know, we're going to have to go shake down some freaking trillionaires and billionaires here for all the money they stole off us there then, eh? Get this going here. Sell. There we go. Okay, let's sit in the chat for a minute and yak. Yeah, well, and look, Steve, I'll say this: if the Americans are not going to help the British, okay, I'm pretty darn sure that when the N96s get and Ford was talking about being able to make millions of these in a month, we'll make sure you guys get some, okay? Just remember that we might need a little hand with that stupid American army sitting right on the south of our border at the moment, if it decides to walk anywhere closer. After all, you get practice with a good video game every day. There you go. I was joking. See, the last time I got a Twitter ban was when I posted a screenshot of a hard drive of the 50,000 hacker files I have. Okay, and I was saying there just last night. I says I feel like maybe I should come out of retirement, eh? Got to protect my country. Yeah, man. Listen, man, and I'll be honest with you. I try to be really honest with you guys. As a leader of over 150 hacker groups back then, I kept a lot of kids out of trouble. Okay, and I gave them a lot of knowledge too. And at the same point, I kept the world a safer place. Right? I didn't make a dime doing it for 20 years, man. For 20 something years, I did this. Okay. And then I hurt my back at work, and then I had to try and find somebody to replace me who wouldn't take advantage of that power, that wouldn't be bribable. I couldn't find anybody. That was the sad part. So and then the Snowden stuff broke, right? And we already knew about it, right? Like some of us have seen inside the Pentagon more than ways than you can shake your fist at. We know things that we can't tell you because we'd be Assanged, right? They probably would love to come over here with an excuse to search my apartment and do everything, but the important shit is nowhere near here. That was arranged a long time ago. Anyhow, nah, whoop-dee shit, right? Then you get these attention deficit disorder types of Americans that just want to start an argument and a fight all the time. Ugh. You just want to read. They try to find every little way that can bother you. And the main thing to remember is stay calm. Don't learn them any way to aggravate you. Because that's more than likely what that person is more than likely is an actual Fed that just wants to start shit with you. And then they'll put it down in a file, what bothers you, and then they'll just pass it to their buddies, you see. And one of my biggest mistakes was not banning the U.S. government from my web servers when I was the librarian of the public archive. U.S. Army was coming over grabbing. The biggest people that were grabbing files were people from Saudi Arabia and the American Army. Yeah, I got the log files for that too. Man, it's kind of like, anyway, just silliness. I'll be telling Pink Peach when I see her. She's German. I'll say to her too. I'll say, listen, the Americans may not want to help you guys, but when we get the N96 going, we're going to make sure there's enough for the entire frickin' world. And yeah, maybe even Americans. I mean, I'm not that evil to cut them off of that shit, Like that's just sick. That's just a sick shit move, isn't it? because these masks go to the healthcare workers that are looking after the people that have the virus and are sick. So they're the most at risk. So let's put more. Let's have less healthcare workers. Well, I'm sorry, we got to pull the 2,000 we're sending to Michigan to help Americans out because we don't have enough masks, and now we got to risk our own people to go and do stuff. Have a nice day. So now more of your people will die too. I mean, what a what a frickin' idiot. Sorry I go on about it, but it's just my own way of working it out in my brain. It's just crazy shit, man. It's sad. It's very sad. All that technology, all that wealth, all that whatever, and you gotta hoard 100 million masks in a month. Yep. That's how much 3M makes every month for the world. And Latin America, all of Latin America has just been cut off too of these masks. So Trump wants you to have the virus. That's what he's actually saying right now. Okay? Instead of doing anything that could prevent it right now and then have you help them, that's what he's saying. So this is not a question of, I'm just being anti-Trump or something. No, this is like this leader of the United States is pulling a Hitler. He's bullying the entire frickin' world. And he wants us in Canada to contribute materials for it. Is that right? Fucking piece of shit. Yeah, he's just a piece of shit. And you watch, I'll get back to Twitter, there'll be like 20 notifications from those types of kids that should be on medication. And I'll answer every single one of them. Go get your meds, kid. Go get your meds, kid. Go get your meds, kid. I'll just copy and paste it. In fact, I'll do one better. I'll create a bot for myself. When somebody says certain things to me, I'll just have the bot do it for me. That's what hackers do. Hey, we automate our shit. Okay? I'm a lazy prick. I don't want to do anything, man. Yeah. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a telnet server of a game. And you can have up to 10,000 people playing on this game. And it's text-based. And it will have an IP address. And, yeah. I may go get a domain name just to hide the IP address, but, whatever. We'll see. Let's see. Oh my God, it's everywhere. Iron everywhere. I am Iron Man. Yeah, and the thing with Germany is they already paid for their masks, had them on a plane, and somehow the U.S. has either seized the plane, or when they got off the plane, they were forbidden to sell them. So it's like, what the hell? And it's the same thing with Canada. They ripped us off. They stole. They pirated us. When you do this kind of shit and you have the World Trade Organization, you know what they did the last time the Americans did this? They gave the nation that the Americans did this to free rights to go and pirate Hollywood movies. So I'm telling all of us Canadians that if the Americans are going to pirate Canada, maybe we should be looking at pirating some of their Hollywood movies and stuff, eh? Maybe the courts should just stop prosecuting that. Maybe we should lessen some laws. Now, the Liberal Party of Canada is very pro-copyright, pro-musician, and all that stuff. So it's highly unlikely that will happen, as is the NDP party, because several of its members are musicians or something like that, right? That's how they infiltrate your political system up here, is they get the people to actually start becoming the MPs, right? That's how the bribe. It's not so much a bribery thing here. It's that's what they do here. Okay. And I mean, I had some political influence myself at times, eh? One of the third largest party in Canada called me up on a Sunday and wanted my views on things, so I let them have it for 6 bloody hours straight. Okay, and if he hadn't have died, this Jack Layton, he would probably have been the Prime Minister of Canada because he knew how to make a deal, for Christ's sake. He knew that talking to people is the way to go rather than being confrontational and being a bully. That doesn't work, man. You don't just say, this is how it is, that's it. Nothing is black and white, man. Nothing. There's always shades of gray to everything, okay? Unless there's something Trump would like to tell the rest of the world that it's far worse than what he's claiming, I see absolutely no legitimate reason why he's done any of this. That's all I have to say. Unless the numbers that, are worse. I'm not close enough. So I'm going to end the stream here shortly, and like I say, I'm going to, from now on every stream I do, I'm going to post that the information there about COVID-19 statistics, okay, so that everybody can see the stats, okay, and there's pages and links to science, okay, that is there, that is legitimate, okay. I've been using this place to be informed since this started, okay, and nobody has come back and said fake news, blah 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 blah, because you can click on the sources and it starts leading you to universities and government pages and da 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 da, okay. And it's amazing how transparent everybody's being but China. There's just no way that they're having literally the same number of cases every day, and then one day it was 14,000, and then the next day it's just 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. So there you go. Like I said, if you're doing something wrong, in my opinion, I'm gonna call you out on it, man. Like if Trump were to come back tomorrow and say, listen, this is why we need them, okay? It's just, and you got to let the orders that were paid for and in transit go, okay? You gotta do that. That's just not cool. After that, fine. I mean, we then have to look for new supplies, and you have to forbid Americans, actual Americans, from buying them, because health professionals need these. Germany said actual Americans, not the American government, outbid them by a factor of 3. By a factor of 3. That's how greedy some people are being about this. And 3M went for it, though. That's the other point. So they're not exactly not to blame here either. But their president came out and said this is going to affect his bottom line. Well, of course it is, because when we switch over to the N96, you're out of business, buddy. See ya. Have a lovely day. Now the rest of the world can get on with looking after each other. Stupid move, man. All the goodwill Trump had there over all the Russia Gate and everything else has just been blown right the bloody hell out of the water. Okay? And the Democrats are just as much to blame, because apparently they knew about the virus when they were impeaching him and didn't say shit. Holy balls, eh? Just evil all around down there, man. Gives me a bloody headache. I mean, that's rumors, right? I haven't seen any sources for that. I haven't bothered. When I see American news now or American whatever, I just, nah, not interested. Not interested. I get out the Twitter guy trying to sell me his comic, not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Not interested. Sorry, man. I need money to buy food and toilet paper. That's more important. Cigarettes are going to start getting rare too, and that's going to cause people to go batshit crazy. It's going to be a good one. I think the natives have us covered for that, but anyway, that'll be a different story. These stupid black pop-ups right there. I can't see where I'm aiming. There we go. Okay, what do we have? We almost at 2 hours? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm going to end the stream here. This has just been a short one. I wanted to get back online and talk about this a bit because I wanted you guys to know that, you know, if things get worse in your own nations, some of us in other nations, we care. And we're going to try and help you, but it's going to take, it's like this N96 mask is going to take 2 weeks to get the plant tooled up, right? So, yeah. Hold on till then, and then we'll sort you. Jesus. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let you go and stay safe. Yeah, well, hey, Stevie, like I said, this is an out of the blue move. 3M makes 100 million masks a month, and they go to Latin America, they go to Europe, they go to you guys, they go to Canada, and Canada actually supplies a material that goes into the mask, and it was a Canadian plant with Canadian workers that did this order, and then Trump came out with that thing, and we had paid for this, and he refuses to let us have them. So, stole our money too. I say we kick that plant out of Canada. Take the damn things ourselves and start making them for everybody that placed an order. You know? What's he going to do? Invade Canada with his army? I'd like to see him try. That would be such a bad move. Seriously. That would be a seriously bad move. There's nothing I've ever seen in any written paper that says that it would end well for the United States doing that. We're too technologically advanced, and when you look at World War II, who was crazy, okay, about world wars and war and fighting? We had the fourth largest army at that point. You don't want to create the world's fourth largest army again all overnight. He wouldn't do that. But then you never know, right? Like, I mean, that's why you got to be, you know, kind of a little nervy about all that. Why would you put your troops there? It's not like we want to go to the United States and get bloody well infected. Anyway, okay, guys, I'm gonna end the stream here, and just make sure you stay safe. Wash your hands. Keep your hands away from your face. What else? What else was the other one? Don't touch your eyes. Keep them away from your nose. If you go out, keep 2 meters or 6 feet away from people. Try not to stay out too long. Don't touch things. If you don't have to, wear some gloves. The gloves that you wear, take them off when you get inside. Wash your hands, and then wash those gloves if you can. If not, throw them away or whatever, you know. I'm going to have to say too much at the end of all these streams now. But anyway, yep. Okay, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.